Stay tuned and let's check out this Marvel Legends Spider-Man Homecoming 2-pack with Peter Parker and Ned Leeds. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember now you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today we are taking a look at this Marvel Legends Spider-Man Homecoming 2-pack with Peter Parker and Ned Leeds. Now I really like this 2-pack concept as it is civilian versions of the characters, and for a character like Spider-Man, the man behind the mask, Peter Parker, is just as important. So it's nice to have that represented in plastic, and of course he needs his best friend, the man in the chair, Ned Leeds. Now since we already have MJ, this nicely completes the trio in their civilian form, so I really like that. And yeah, let's give us more civilians in plastic, why not? So these two look great. You know I'm not a big fan of the plastic free packaging. They could do something a little bit more fun on the front, but we get the digital renders, the Spider-Man Homecoming logo, but let's be honest, these two could be Ned and Peter from any film within the MCU. Up top we're getting a logo from the movie, on the side digital renders, there a graphic from the film, on the back some more digital renders showing you all the accessories that come in the box, and I'm absolutely fine with digital renders and the accessories on the back. I just think the front could be a little bit more fun. It doesn't really scream premium Marvel Legends, and let's be honest, the prices ain't cheap anymore. So yeah, anyway, I'm looking forward to adding these two to the shelf, so cross your fingers. Let's hope I have no QC issues. Let's get them open. Here we have Peter and Ned out of the packaging with all of their accessories, and happy to report everything is there as it should be. And this is how they come out of the box. Peter comes packed with his backpack already on, and Ned Leeds is packed with that Spider-Man mask on. But all the accessories are there. Ned gets his own backpack and an interchangeable head, of course. Peter gets a set of fisted hands and a book and then a smiling head. But the head that is on here, it is like a mini Tom Holland. Wait until I zoom in and show you that. Hopefully the camera does it justice. But just first impressions, this is exactly what we wanted. These are completely pinless Marvel Legends as civilian Peter Parker and Ned Leeds. Very happy with these. These are going to fit right in to a Spider-Man sort of MCU setup. So let's take a closer look one by one. And I have to start off with Peter. It's so good. Starting off at the head sculpt, of course. Now hopefully my lights are not too bright and harsh to show you the likeness here, because in person, as I said, it's like I'm holding a mini Tom Holland. It is really good. Probably the best Tom Holland head sculpt we have so far. Obviously you got the digital tech on there that's got a very nice hair sculpt as well that's nicely painted, and yeah, just it is the best Tom Holland head sculpt we have gotten so far. It is as simple as that. So hopefully the camera is doing it justice, but yeah, this is really good. So liking that a lot. Of course though, this isn't the only head sculpt we got. We do get a smiling head. It's great to see Peter Parker smiling, and you know me, I always appreciate options, and this head sculpt is again really nice. The likeness is spot on from some angles. Definitely see Tom Holland's face in there, of course you can, but I do think I prefer the other head overall. But it is the same head sculpt with the same hair, it's just now he is smiling. So yeah, I think again, if I spin it all the way around, you can see I think they've done a great job. And if I bring the other one back in for a side-by-side, you can tell me in the comments of the video which one do you think's better, which has the best likeness. Again, I think I'm sort of gravitating more towards the non-smiling head, but don't take anything away. Both of these are really nice and undoubtedly the best Tom Holland likenesses we have gotten in our collection so far. So let me just bring in another Tom Holland head sculpt that we got on with the Far From Home range, just to show you the sort of difference between the two. And again, I do think that this new one definitely beats the previous best we had. So we have a new winner when it comes to Tom Holland likenesses. Now we know the likeness is great, so let's take a look at the figure itself. So out of the box, he comes packed with his bag already on, ready for school. Now that's very nicely sculpted. It's in a beige colour with some black zips, and then you've got the black straps as well. As I said, this is a separate piece accessory. Both him and Ned come with one. It comes off, no problems at all. So there is his bag pack, no problems. On the figure itself, look at this, people. So I don't know how he makes it work, but he does. It's like a green long sleeve jumper with some sort of mustard trousery chinos and some sort of brown shoes. So yeah, he makes it work. Let me zoom in and show you the details here. So he's got like a sloppy plaid collar. Now that is on purpose. That is intentional. A nice attention to detail there. So that plaid collar, which is sloppily done like he's just left the house, and then it's poking through at the bottom as well. So nice details. Nice texture as well on the actual jumper. It's a little bit more glossy here than it is the rest of the figure, but I don't mind that at all. pinless double jointed elbows and pinless double jointed knees. Look at that. This figure is completely pinless, beautifully done. So yeah, the figure is really nice. The trousers are nice and simple, nice sculpted sort of texture and nice sculpted creases throughout. The laces are on there as well. So yeah, really liking that. And in regards to the way he moves, you'd think this guy is Spider-Man or something. Like, the articulation is so nice. So instead of an ab crunch, they've gone for like a diaphragm sort of cut with the ball. So you get a nice bit of movement back and forth and some tilt. The arms will go way up as well. There's a bicep swivel. And then look at this for double jointed elbows. You cannot ask for more. That is what you want. Really, really good. So that, no problem there. There is a hinge as well in the wrists, of course. The legs will go out. Let's see how far they go out. About that much, which is pretty good. Forward really high, like it's sort of got like drop down hip sort of length. And again, look at this for double jointed pinless knees. Look at that. As I said, Peter Parker, spoiler alert, he's Spider-Man, so good. There is a swivel at the thigh, of course, but no boot cuts. He's not wearing boots, he's wearing shoes. So you've got ankle pivot and rocker. So yeah, this guy, you can get in some great articulated poses, undoubtedly. And I want to mention the neck as well. I didn't mention it earlier, but the neck and the head are two separate pieces. So the neck is a separate piece in the actual torso. So you've got the head attached to the neck and the neck attached to the torso. So you've got great range. Look at that. Look at that, he can check if his shoelaces are tied. So great range of motion, really liking this. No complaints with Peter Parker at all. Out of the box, he comes with a set of open palm, sort of expressive hands, which is fine. He can use it to hold his book as well. I'll show you that in a second. But he comes with a set of fisted hands, which I think all figures should come with as standard. So I really like that for more neutral poses or for just punching some bad guys in the face. Maybe punch that Flash Thompson in the face. He deserves it. But yeah, fisted hands. And then, as I said, he comes with a book that he can hold. Now the book has no detail on it at all. It is just flat and sort of brown. And I said he can hold it, but it's very loose. So you've got to be careful how you pose him up. But here we have Peter Parker holding the book. I can probably put that arm to the side. Yeah, I can. So he can hold it in one hand, but again, it's very loose with a backpack on, ready for a day at school. So yeah, absolutely zero complaints with this Peter Parker. They have absolutely nailed it. Moving on to Spider-Man, who seems to have really let himself go. No, sorry, Ned, I can't be mean to you. It is, of course, Ned Leeds wearing the Spider-Man mask like he does in the movie, which is nicely done. So obviously a little bit wider than we're used to seeing our Spider-Man, but it's nicely sculpted with the web lines sculpted in there with the black and white eyes. Really nicely done. So there you go. Nice little Easter egg for the accessory for Ned. But of course, let's see the face behind the mask. There he is. And again, I think they've done a great job with the likeness. Probably not as good as Peter's if I had to criticize, but it is still really, really good. No, actually, I take that back. Look at that. From certain angles, that is really nice. The hair is nicely sculpted as well with a sort of curtain quiff. Yeah, just all the way around there. Really good head sculpt for Ned Leeds. No complaints there. So of course you get Ned Leeds head sculpt and then his accessory. Instead of a smiling face, you get the Spider-Man mask. So good to have options. Fun little way to pose him up on the shelf. So while we're here, let's take a look at the rest of the figure. So here we have Ned, first time ever in action figure form. So he hasn't got double jointed arms, of course, because he's wearing these sleeves, but he is pinless, like completely pinless again. So he's going to fit very nice in the display. So let's see how much range he has got. So the arms will still go up to 90 there with a 90. Wow, the sleeves are pretty thick, so not 90 on the arms, but it seems like they could be capable of it. Oh, he's broke his arm, poor Ned. But there's that. And that's quite tight, to be fair. The jacket looks like it should be a separate piece, but it's not. This is all one sculpted piece. The jacket and the t-shirt sort of are molded together, so it gives you the illusion it's a separate piece, but it's not. It's one full piece with the blue sort of white striped shirt on, sort of beige jacket, if you will, or shirt. All the way around. Again, nicely sculpted with the nice sort of creases sculpted into the jacket. Down to the trousers. These will look like more like jeans. Again, more nice creases. Pinless as well. And are these double jointed? Yes, they are. Ned can even kick his own ass. So good range there on the legs. And then he's wearing trainers. Not really any detail on there, but there is some sculpted detail. But yeah, just grey trainers there with the ankle pivot and rocker. So yeah, trainers, trousers, shirt, t-shirt. Ned Leeds, completely pinless. So, well, of course, we don't need him to have crazy articulation, as I said. But, as I said, I've already showed the arms. The legs will go out pretty far forward okay, to be honest. And as I said, swivel at the top of the thigh, double jointed knees, etc. I'm just more happy that this guy can stand up straight, he is pinless, and it looks like Ned Leeds. That's what I needed out of a Ned Leeds figure, and I'm happy to report he does exactly that. Now, I think he's wearing a watch we might have seen before in Marvel Legends, but there we go. This watch may have come with, like, Luke Cage, I want to say. Is that a separate watch as well? Yeah, it is a separate watch. So, yeah, we only get one set of hands with Ned as well. We just get these sort of expressive open palm hands, which is fine because I'm going to find myself a computer and a chair, and he's going to be the man in the chair. But there is Ned Leeds. He does come with a bag, so let's put the bag on. So there we have his camo bag with the black straps, which, again, is a very nice accessory piece. He's ready for school. And at first, I said it was the same as Peter's, but getting them both together now, they are unique. Both bags are a unique sculpt and different to each other. So of course the colours are different, but it's not just the repaint. They are unique bags. And again, that's a small detail, but I like details like that. So yeah, different bags for each of the characters. And yeah, let's spin him around. Take one last look at Ned. And yeah, beautiful. What can I say? This is exactly what we wanted. We wanted a Ned Leeds that looks like the actor. He can move a little bit. He's completely pinless. I have absolutely zero complaints with this 2-pack. Really happy. Before we move on, one last note on Ned, because I didn't really bring any attention to it because it's not something that I sort of needed in my Ned Leeds action figure, but there is no articulation in the chest area. There's no ab crunch, no diaphragm cut like Peter. This is what you get, just one big chunk. There's still a sort of swivel at the waist because obviously he's got the waist swivel, but the shirt and t-shirt sort of dangles over the crotch area so you can't see it. But the articulation is still there. There's just no sort of crunch or diaphragm cut. So limited articulation up here, and also unlike Peter, there's no sort of double dumbbell for the neck. It is just a disc and hinge. So you get his head looking down and looking up, but no real tilt or anything like that. So yeah, limited articulation on Ned, but who's needs a Ned Leeds with crazy articulation? You need Ned Leeds to look like Ned from the movies, and you cannot deny this doesn't do that. Here we have Peter contemplating his life as Spider-Man as he is holding the Ned Leeds head sculpt, but it sort of looks like he's just holding a Spider-Man mask, which I really like. We don't really get like loose mask pieces, which would be good for characters to hold when obviously they don't have them on. So I just was curious to see how it looked, and not bad. And this, of course, had to be the first comparison I tried. Here we have Peter and Ned with MJ. We have the trio, the three best friends, in civilian form, in action figure form, which is something we don't usually see within Legends. 3 civilian characters. So really happy with this. These are going to be the centerpiece to any Spider-Man display for our MCU. And yeah, the likenesses on all 3 of these are really nice as well. I do think Hasbro liked Zendaya because she looks better in action figure form than she does in the movie. But we all know Zendaya's a pretty girl, so no complaints there. But yeah, looking great. And a closer look at the lovely couple, of course, Tom Holland and Zendaya, aka Peter Parker and MJ, who love spending time alone. Oh wait, there's Ned. Continuing with comparisons, of course we needed to see Peter Parker next to Spider-Man. So first up, here we have a couple of versions of Spider-Man from the Homecoming movie, as that is the logo on the box. So we've got the homemade suit, that first tech upgrade suit he got from Tony Stark, and then that same suit, but with his school blazer on. That I think we've seen in the movie, but mainly reminds me of the promotional material of the film. But even still, this is a very nice setup of Spider-Man Homecoming figures. And I think the scale works out well as well, because Peter Parker may be a smidge bit taller than the 2 Spider-Man, but he has got his hair on show, he's wearing trainers, where I assume when he's all kitted up as Spider-Man, it's a very tight fitting outfit. His hair is obviously hidden, and he's probably not going to be wearing trainers. He's going to be like flat-footed. So I don't mind Peter Parker being a smidge bit taller. It's not like out of scale at all. And of course the homemade suit, he's got the hood up as well, which makes him a little bit taller. Now I'm more interested to see if these Peter Parker head sculpts will fit on these figures. First up, here we have the Spider-Man with the school blazer with the Peter Parker head on there. Now the head doesn't pop onto the peg as they are a different size, but it will sit on there. So on the display it will work fine, but it is very loose on there. It doesn't pop on properly, but there is one option. Next up, the Peter Parker head on a regular sort of Homecoming sort of Spider-Man. Same situation where the head pops on there, no problem for display purposes, but I say pops on, the ball peg is not the same, so it's very loosely fitting. But again, just for standing it on a display, no problems at all. Now, the head that we got previously with a Homecoming Spider-Man is this one right here. Now, again, look how different a few years makes. It is crazy how different these two are. And if I zoom out for a second, bring back in the Peter Parker body and try and put this head on there, you can see that the ball peg is just not the right size anyway. And yeah, it's just a different ball game. This head is just not as good as the new one, and it wouldn't work on the Peter Parker body, if you were curious. Here we have the homemade suit with the Peter Parker head sculpt on there, and I managed to find the sort of down hood accessory that came with this figure as well. So I wanted this one to work the most, to be honest, but it sort of looks like it's got a very long neck. But the head does pop on there better than it does on the previous two. Now I'm curious, does it work with the hood? Again, unfortunately not quite. Where the head does pop on there, the head fits in the hood, but again, it sort of is a little bit too big so that it's not like flush with the neck, and it just, yeah, just doesn't look right, unfortunately, but I thought I'd give it a go. Here we have Peter Parker compared to some more Spider-Men from across the MCU. We've got Avengers, Far From Home, and No Way Home here mixed in. And again, I really think the scale works well, as Peter is just a smidge taller because of the hair, which I'm absolutely fine with. Even the proportions of the body look fine as well, because again, he's wearing a shirt and a jumper, and he's got a backpack on compared to the tight-fitting clothes of Spider-Man. So yeah, I think this is spot on. And again, we have options, as we could probably pop that head on any of these bodies. And just to try one head swap on the latest Far From Home Spider-Man, that also came with a Peter Parker head. Again, it works very nice. This actually pops on the head, no problem at all, and it actually looks like a very accurate Far From Home and No Way Home Spider-Man, to be honest. As I said, it did come with its own Peter Parker head at the time, which I've put onto the Peter Parker body, and as you can see, that was the best Peter Parker head sculpt we had recently, but this new one is just a game changer compared to anything else we got. They look like different people, sort of, and I liked this one when it was first shown, but compared to this new one, it's just the best there is so far, easily. And it's only right, before we move on, we take a look at Peter Parker and the legacy he has left compared to so many MCU Spider-Man. Now, this isn't even all of them. There are many more, but these are the ones that I've got on the table today, which is a nice sprinkle from all the different movies. I think my favourite design is always going to be the Iron Spider. I just really like the MCU's take on that particular look, but you have to admit, this is a very nice setup, and it's so good to have a civilian Peter Parker to display with these guys. So yeah, very happy. You let me know your favourite MCU Spider-Man design in the comments below. Another civilian we have in Marvel Legends form is, of course, Jonah Jameson, and he is a little bit taller than them both, I think, as he should be. So these three plus Zendaya, I think that's all the civilian characters we've gotten from Spider-Man in figure form. If I'm missing any, I'm sure you'll let me know. Here we have another Sonyverse comparison, as we have the movie Venom compared to Peter Parker and Ned Leeds. And I'm sure if Sony have their way, it is inevitable before Tom Holland's Spider-Man meets Tom Hardy's Venom within the movies. Hopefully not within the MCU though. I'm glad it's a multiverse thing. But here you go. Here's a comparison all the same. As I said, move Ned out the way. And again, very curious to see these two line up together. And again, that articulation on the neck means he can look up really good. So yeah, that's going to happen at some point, I'm sure. Of course, I couldn't forget about Happy Hogan, as he has been a part of the whole Spider-Man trilogy within the MCU, even though now he doesn't remember who he is. But here we have Happy Hogan compared to Peter Parker and Ned Leeds. And just to take Happy out, I just wanted to see Tony Stark next to Peter as well. And to be fair, this isn't the best Tony Stark, as we haven't really got a perfect Tony Stark within the MCU, not a civilian casual one anyway. And as you can see, these two don't look great together, but that's nothing against Tom. That's more a case we need a better Tony Stark. Just for a bit of fun, here we have a comic Spider-Man compared to Peter and Ned. This is the brand new Spider-Man from the Spinneret 2-pack, so it is completely pinless and probably your best option for a comic Spider-Man. And as you can see, he's a little bit taller than Peter Parker because it represents more of an adult Spider-Man, but still, it's nice to see the comparison. And again, this civilian body is so good, maybe you people out there who don't buy MCU figures could be tempted to add this guy as a comic Peter Parker. It could work, not for me personally, but you may enjoy it. And for no reason at all, apart from the fact I want to show off before I have to send it back to Hasbro, here we have Peter and Ned compared to Lab Coat Blue Beast. Here we have Frogman, Tiger and White Rabbit. And last but absolutely never least, here we have Captain Britain and Hal Fire Hank, who, as you can see, is still feeling the effects of the X gene. What is that serum going to do to him? So, final thoughts on this Spider-Man Homecoming 2-pack with Peter Parker and Ned Leeds. I think this is an excellent representation in plastic of Peter and Ned throughout the whole of the MCU trilogy of Spider-Man films, not just Homecoming. This is my mind's eye of these two characters in their civilian looks, which I think is very important to have within the collection, as yes, I know it may not be the most exciting of action figures, but still, I always say that Peter Parker is just as important as the Spider-Man character himself, as that's what makes the character so relatable. So it's great to have him to accompany all the other Spider-Man characters we already have in our collection, and having Ned just completes the trio of Zendaya, of MJ and Ned and Peter. And yeah, honestly, this 2-pack is so good. I very rarely use the word perfect when it comes to Marvel Legends, as you know, we like to nitpick and there's always things they can do better. But honestly, people, wait until you get this Peter Parker in hands. It is exactly what we wanted. It is all brand new. It is completely pinless and the likeness is spot on. It is like you are carrying around a mini Tom Holland. And the articulation, as I keep joking, you would think this guy is Spider-Man because it is so good. So yeah, honestly, wait until you get this in hand. This has potential. Again, I know it's a civilian character, not the most exciting, but that Peter Parker has potential to be probably one of the best MCU representations we have been given in Marvel Legends. That is a statement within itself. So yeah, get excited about this set for sure. And again, you let me know what you think if you have it in hand in the comments below. Like, if I'm wrong, tell me why I'm wrong. But honestly, this is a great set, at least for me. At least for me. I'm really liking it. Happy to have them in the collection. But if you like Marvel Legends, then guess what, people? You're in the right place. Check out the videos tab, find the playlists, but most importantly, please, hit that subscribe button. Much appreciated. You can also hit the notification bell and don't miss out on a video. And please, hit that join button. Become a channel member. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who, where I'll be posting lots of pretty pictures of all the Marvel Legends I review. And of course, you can follow me, don't be shy, on Twitter at Dan Who Reviews. And until then, people, my name is Dan W, and I will of course see you on the next one.